My name is Dhir. I'm the founder and CEO of Galint Gaming Inc., and I'm the event director behind Platfight. For me, it's really important and it's a really big value of my own to bring people together. It's what gives me energy in my day-to-day. In high school, started hosting events for the Smash Brothers community, and 12 years later, really just have never stopped organizing events with thousands of people around the world at this point. Some of my earliest core memories from childhood are playing Super Smash Bros. 64 with all my older cousins. So every birthday party, every celebration, every holiday was all of us gathered around a CRT and an N64 and 4 pretty beat up N64 controllers playing Smash 64. Smash Bros. Melee is the biggest one for me. In terms of when I got into that, I vividly remember my first experience and interaction with Smash Bros. Melee. As the younger brother, my brother had to drag me along to a birthday party, and they were playing Melee. And I was the younger brother who didn't get a turn to play. I got one chance to play. I played Roy that time, which was cool, because fire, but I didn't get a chance to play Marth, and they never let me play again. So when I got home, I cried so much to my mom, saying they didn't let me play, I want to try Marth, he has a sword, that we went to EB Games, which is our GameStop, and bought Melee the next day. How I first started getting into tournament organizing was back in my high school days, and it was purely just out of necessity, right? I was hosting those Smash Fests, basically, which we didn't even know was a word at the time, but where it really started of being more than just that was we learned of some high schoolers at another high school in the city who also had a little bit of a Smash club going on, and I shit you not, we had a crew battle in my basement, and I vividly remember that day. I didn't know any of these guys. They were from a school pretty far away on the east side. On a Saturday morning at 10 a.m., they straight up all showed up to my house and we had a crew battle in my basement. And that was really the start of me really wanting to dive in on the competitive side further. I started a monthly high schoolers only tournament series, and it was called Get Schooled Smash. And it was only high schoolers. We had the peak one of those was 45 students, which was kind of crazy in retrospect. Somebody's got to build it, right? And there wasn't anybody building it for high schoolers at that time. And then my big break of doing something a bit bigger was at the University of British Columbia. They have the UBC Esports Association. At the time, they had no Super Smash Brothers department. So when I was in grade 12 and deciding what university to go to, somebody at the UBC Esports Association knew of my situation and said to me, "Hey Kevin, if you join UBC Esports, we're going to give you two options. You can either become the director of the League of Legends department, or you can start the Smash Bros. Department." And I chose to start the Smash Bros. Department, which was a huge fork in my timeline, which is kind of crazy here. I don't look back at that fork at all, because being at UBC then, I had access to so many more resources as an event organizer, like venue space, I had storage space, so I had my CRT vault on campus, and I had volunteers that were motivated and down to help me at any time to make these things happen. And that's when Battle of BC started. That's when so many regionals started. Hosted 200 something weeklies during that time. Battle of BC 2, Amza, watching Amza beat Crush that time, that was a historical moment for me. He was staying at my house that weekend, and at that time it was damn, this guy really flew around the world from Japan to be here at Battle of BC, and he was staying at my house, and that was a time when he was telling me yeah, I love Vancouver, I want to move here and all that stuff. So for years later, we stayed as homies, and he moved here eventually. The fact that my journey as an event organizer has literally led for someone to move their life around the world from Japan to Vancouver, I don't think I even processed that enough. At this point, as someone who's pretty deep into my event organizing and TOing career, I have a unique position in the scene where I can make really cool things happen that are not happening unless I put this work into making it happen. And one-of-a-kind, brand new experiences. These things don't happen unless people are putting in the hard work to realize these visions and these ideas. And I feel uniquely blessed that right now I'm full-time putting my efforts into bringing these kind of things to the world. Over the years, there's been a lot of people that have inspired me in Melee. One of the earliest role models in the scene for me has been Vish. Vish actually lived in Seattle for a long time, and Seattle being right next to Vancouver, he used to come to some of my earliest regionals, a decade ago now. And I've known him all this time and seen him as an older brother, being someone I can always lean on. He's been super inspirational. Similar kind of relationship with the Crimson Blur. I know a lot of people give Blur some flack here and there, but anytime I've been in a moment of crisis or needing somebody to just give me sense on. Like Blur has consistently been a great rock to just vent to and hear his TO opinion, because he has some very strong ones, but they always get me seeing things in a different light or help me recontextualize things. In terms of what keeps me playing these games, they're just so much fun. Melee is an endless dopamine sink for me. Even though I've played this game for tens and thousands of hours, every game is still fresh. And platform fighters in general, I feel like just the fact that it's a way you can express yourself, the movement, there's always stuff you can be improving and doing better, and obviously the thrill of victory, the pain of defeat, all of this stuff motivates me to just keep going. So whether it's me playing a 1 a.m. session of Donkey Kong on unranked, or it's me playing in a tournament and trying real hard to top 8 a regional or something, as long as I'm having fun, I don't think I'm ever stopping actually competing or playing. But beyond what keeps me going on all of this stuff is honestly the relationships I've made with people in this scene. Every time I go to an event, it's a social, right? Half the people at a tournament go 0-2, but they're there for the vibes and they're there to see their friends. In high school, I had my Smash Club crew. In university, I had the UBC Esports Association Smash Bros crew. And so just having a core crew of like Smash homies has always kept me motivated through it. The fact that there's so many people down to just meet up on a weekly basis and play video games together, and that video game happens to be one that we all really love, Super Smash Bros, is what keeps me going. Something I want to tell someone that's new to the scene, it's okay to be bad at the game. You will start bad at the game. The thing that I hate the most when I hear from somebody who's interested in getting into the game, into platform fighters, but it's like, oh, I'm too bad to go to a local. No, you're not too bad to go to a local. There's half the tournament's gonna lose all their matches too. So like, it's okay if you join them. And there's no way you're gonna get better unless you're going to these events, because you can't teach that stuff over a webcam or over a YouTube video. I mean, you can try, but just the speed you will progress your skill progression by actually going in person and playing with people is exponentially higher than if you're just grinding online unranked play, because you can have conversations with the person next to you. You can see what they do. They can pause to show you things, right? Your skill development will be way further. Show up to things, go to events, almost anywhere in the world. There is somebody nearby you that wants to play these games with you in person. Find those people, and if you can't find those people, be that person. Start hosting. If you're watching this, I would really love to invite you to Platfight. The Platfight Gaming Championships is going to be a unique event like no other. We're bringing us all together, the entire platform fighting community united under one roof. I've been watching more and more platform fighters in recent years, and I know how cool and how strong the communities are for these games, right? Brawlhalla, Multiverses, NASB2, Rivals of Ether 2, Melee, Ultimate, all have such beautiful scenes, but it's sad to me to see the lack of overlap between these scenes. I hope that this generates a lot of cross-pollination between the communities, and we're at a great time in the world for platform fighters. It couldn't be a better time for it, and I can't wait to see where we go with it. So please come to Platfight, and if you can't make it to Platfight, there's plenty more Galint Gaming events that you can drop by. Battle BC7, March 28th to 30th, or just give us a follow on Twitter and check us out, Galint Gaming, and you can keep up with all the cool events we're doing.